Live from YMSL Studios, welcome to the special edition World Series Dashless Report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with, to my left, as usual, NRJ and Douglas Dweck to his left. And guys, we waited all postseason for this. We had two classic playoff games yesterday, and Douglas, unfortunately, you were away on assignment. You didn't witness it.
Still catching the Jeter 3,000 hit. That sent me off to that assignment.
But unbelievable two extra inning walk-off games, and I think these are going to be like Don Larson's no-hitters. Everybody's going to say they attended one of these games yesterday. Norman, you were there. You were late because the traffic was backed up to Route 35, but unbelievable games yesterday, Norman.
Bobby, the crowd was great. Parking was a commodity. It was totally packed, and the games, the level of play was unbelievable. It really was. These two teams that are in the World Series, and you'll take us to how we got there, but the teams that were in the World Series, their defense on both sides played pretty good yesterday. And there were a lot of key, important plays to review when we get to the game.
Yeah, so actually the first game, which was a continuation of a suspended game from last week's rain out, with Insane having 1-0 lead in the second inning. Unfortunately for Insane, the rain out caused them to miss Sammy Tal, who was away on overseas, so they really were shorthanded in that regard. So they had a 1-0 lead. They were down 2-0, and going up against the red hot Rip It and Grip It with A.B. Saka, won 13 out of 14. So and the game right off the bat, and the game continued. They put up 3 runs right away, Rip It, and they took a 3-1 lead. But this game was back and forth. You got to give Insane credit. They played shorthanded. Haas took Sammy Tal's place. They played with 10 guys exactly, and so it was a classic game. We'll talk about all the details and some of the innuendos that went on, but it was just nobody gave them a shot, but they took it to 10 innings and before they lost. But.
Well, from what I understand, the absence of Sammy Tal was felt in the field, especially. I think Haas made a couple of wasn't able to make a couple of plays that Sammy Tal most probably would have been able to make, you lose a glove like that and a bat like that, it's tough. Something that Marty told me after the game was that besides for the innings that were played last week or 2 weeks ago, besides for that, they didn't get a leadoff man on the entire day, and it's very once you get a leadoff man on in this league, that guy is most probably going to score, and in any league, but especially in this league. And then A.B. Saka got the first out of every inning that they played yesterday in that game, which was 5 or 6 innings. So they weren't able to get it going, and Marty was blaming it mostly on his bats.
Yeah. Well, you take away a bat like Sammy Tal, and their lineup really is very top-heavy. So you lose his bat, and then you just 5 through 10.
And who they end up putting up first? I know there was that whole Leo Katzen up first, and then.
No, they went back with their strength. I think they started back up with when Ike Jamal was back in the lead. You can't afford to change it up.
So when you continue a game from the rain and Sammy's not there, how does that affect the lineup? You can't change the lineup.
Well, Haas was not in the game at that point.
Oh, okay.
So Haas was just put in Sammy's slot. He was left off, so he was in Haas. But to his credit, Haas, when they're down by 2 in the 5th inning, delivered a key 2-out two RBI single with 2 outs to tie the game. So, even though he did make a couple of errors, he definitely helped them out in the field at the plate.
Right.
But clearly the better team won. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There were Rip It was a much better team, and A.B. Sack is on a whole different level, and so. The fact that they even stayed close, and who knows, had Insane won that game, who knows, it could change the whole series around. But
well, according to Jack Jamal, all they needed to do was win that game 3, and then he basically guaranteed they'd take 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And we've seen it plenty of times. We've seen 2-0 leads disappear just like that.
Yeah.
But Grip It and Rip It, they stepped on their necks. They closed the series. ABC, and done. Good morning, good afternoon, good
Also,
night.
Ripper was a little short-handed with the absence of Leor Friedman, so they had a big bat on their part also missing. So, both teams were a little short-handed, but Adam Schulman returned at center field. And again, some key plays like Zach Ashkenazi again made some very good plays in the outfield and some big hits. And Gabe Abadi played outstanding. But again, I think it was also a lot of A.B. Saka again showing
That's his,
once again that he's the premier, one of the premier.
His 12th consecutive playoff victory.
Yeah,
And not just as a pitcher, but as he's a key batter in that lineup also. So A.B. Saka is, before our own eyes over the last few years, is becoming a top player in this league.
Yeah, he definitely, no question, is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the first pitcher taken next year.
Especially when you combine his bat and his pitching
and his age, and he makes plays. He made. We'll talk about some key moments of that game, but again, he's a very heads-up player and a great defensive, great glove. So you're getting the whole package with him, which he's fairly young compared to the other pitchers.
And at the draft, we did the first 2 rounds in the studio, and then we moved and had the rest of the draft, the draft site. So we were wondering at that point, are they going to take, Insane had the first pick, are they going to take Sammy Towell or maybe A.B. Saka? And they ended up taking Sammy Towell with that pick, and Sammy Towell ended up missing part of this game. But, they ended up with Leo Kassim later on.
Yeah.
But they very well could have had A.B. Saka.
But again, I think also Ripid moved up. Right,
they made a trade with Ali to move.
Actually, they moved down in the first round to get an extra player in the second round, which ended up being A.B. Saka. So they definitely benefited from there. But a young team. Jordy Romel played outstanding yesterday. Also, he's coming into his own. A.B. Dweck. I mean, just a young athletic team, and so really it goes to show you being the veteran team, how this league is evolving to.
And they had at that point so much confidence, and I think you were starting to hint towards some of the key plays in the game. I guess you want to tell us about the big play when Mar Shamma was.
Now at the top of the 10th, it was the game was tied at 5, and at first and third, and Mar Shamma was at the plate, and that had a major meeting.
It's 2 outs.
2 outs.
Yeah, 2 outs. Marty's automatically says, "Let's walk him." Now, not Marty. They wanted to walk him, and A.B. Saka had a meeting, called the whole team over, and he was adamant against not walking.
And remember, Sammy Towell wasn't on deck. Haas is on deck.
Yeah, Haas is on the on-deck circle. So, I guess you walk him. Everybody says walk him. No problem.
Top pick in the league, Marshall.
Yeah, but you're leaving no room for error. I guess AB also figured that he has no absolute margin for error on to walk him or a bobbled ball, whatever the case may be. But they had a meeting at second base, and AB came and he challenged him, and he gave him a good pitch, and Morris had a hard one hopper right back to the box, and he snagged it and got him out at first. And then the bottom of the 10th, they ended up winning again. Another situation was second and there was another situation where we had a 10-minute meeting at this point.
But while you're looking that up, I don't know I don't know if there's another team in the league that would pitch to Mar Shamma there.
It's not the team in the league.
That's a gutsy call, And if Mar Shamma comes through the base hit, and then Jack Jamal's prediction comes through, and they win Game 4, they win Game 5. You looking back at that call and saying, "How the hell are you pitching to Mars?"
It's just oozing with confidence.
With the base open, right?
Figure you could do anything.
But A.B. Saka made the call, and then he made the play. Hard ground ball right back to him.
That's what happens when you win 13 games in a row.
Yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders.
Right, so now in the bottom of the 10th, Marty had his own situation where he had to. Gabe led off with a single, and Savi doubled. It was second and third, and A.B. Saka was in the play with 2 outs. And actually with 1 out at this point, so second and third, 1 out, A.B. Saka was in the play. And they literally had a meeting for 10 minutes. I mean, the umpires had to call. Jack Jamal says, "I'll put him on, walk him," and Marty didn't want to walk him. It was back and forth. And
who's the on-deck batter?
And the on-deck was Michael Rishti, who's having an outstanding year. So at the end of finally they decided to walk A.B. Saka, which is probably the right move, set up a force. but Michael Richter promptly ripped the single to right field, and that was it. So, you know, a lot of strategy involved yesterday, a lot of great plays, and, you know, the defense was amazing yesterday. So they completed a sweep, grip it, and it clearly, I think, I haven't been this excited about a World Series in 10 years, because clearly you have the two best pitchers, the two best teams, the two hottest teams, and you know, I would be surprised if this series did not go to distance.
Well, judging from Game 1 yesterday, which was one of the best World Series games I remember in this league in a long time, I mean, and Game 1 is so important, and to start off like that, judging from that game, I can't see this game going any less than 5 games. These teams are so close and so even. This game was so intense throughout the entire game. It was really a great game to watch. I think it's going to go the distance, but...
Where's the schedule next week? Where are the games?
Games 2 and 3 are going to be at Fireman's at 9:30 next week. But we should mention that the two World Series teams, the core 7-8 guys, are under 25 years old. So, you know, it's really showing what this league has become. And so, you know, the pitchers are, you know, veterans, but the key players on both teams are definitely on the young side. And we'll get into details of the game, but it was a classic, and you know, we should start off that.
But you know something also that's interesting about that? The two teams, their shortstops, the brothers.
Oh yes.
Carlos and Gabe Abadi. When you talk about the top shortstops in the league, you start with Marshama, Hank Shala, Eddie Richter, Ali Marshall. All these guys that we've been saying are the best guys in the league for the last 10, 12 years or so.
All of them,
all first round picks and everything. Gabe Abadi's having a tremendous year on both sides. He's a great fielder. He made a bunch of very good plays yesterday also. You know, like, these young guys are coming up, just to follow up on your point there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. The star of the team is Jackie Towell in center. Everything we've been talking about over the last couple of months, that is a changing of the guard right before our eyes. It's evident in this series.
Yeah. So we had the two brothers going up against each other, and we actually talked with his father on the sidelines and interviewed him. He was a baseball player in his own right back in Mexico, a pitcher no less. So you know, I guess, you know, they followed suit. I thought they were a soccer family, but he, you know, he definitely they had some good.
Was he cheering for one guy?
He was neutral.
He was being neutral, very diplomatic. YMSL got that interview. That's a good job by you securing Senor Batty.
Yes.
Good guy to throw out the first ball of the World Series.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind for the next one. Right now, we're going to take a commercial break before we get to Game 1 of the World Series and introduce our newest sponsor.
I'm getting hungry.
Mike the
Flavors with phallus.
Suicide Wings.
Oh, Mike Suicide Wings. Wow. And we're told that these are the best wings on the East Coast, and we're going to find out why in a moment. But right now, we're going to take a word from our RBI Beverage Inc. sponsor, and we'll come back in a couple of minutes.